Tricia, Director of ITC Asia. Welcome to ITC Asia's Unfiltered Conversations, where we sit down with some of our amazing speakers ahead of ITC Asia 2025, happening from the 3rd to 5th of June in Singapore. We'll be chatting about big ideas, industry shifts, and everything in between. Think of it as a little brain food before the big event. Today, we have Harprem Doowa, founder of Eazy Digital, with us. Hey, Prem, can you do a quick introduction about yourself and Eazy Digital before we dive in?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. My name is Prem, founder of Eazy Digital. I've been in insurtech since 2016, having previously founded a company called Frank Insurance Brokers, selling insurance online direct to consumer. We were lucky enough to sell that company to Boltech in 2020, where I worked for 2 more years after that, before leaving and starting scratch again in the insurtech space. This time around, building an agency management platform for insurance companies and brokers.
Thank you, Prem. And I think at ITC Asia, a key theme is the digitalization of insurance distribution. How is Eazy Digital driving digital adoption among agents and brokers, particularly in the emerging markets?
That's exactly what we do, right? Our whole concept is to build a tool and platform to allow agents and brokers to essentially be more digitally savvy. These guys are sales guys. I myself am a sales guy. And with salespeople, if you give them the right tools to sell, lead generation tools, performance management tools, motivation tools, content tools, that's what helps them sell. That's what drives sales. Most of the time, you try to drive sales by telling in a salesperson, sell more, sell more, sell more. That's the end result. That is not really what you're asking them to do. What you need to ask them to do is have more leads, get more meetings, be more online digitally, get more motivated, understand where they're tracking along their performance, how they were different from the month before, and so on and so forth. All of these things are very, very important for an agent and broker to sell more. Now, current systems and current insurance companies don't have the tools or platforms available, or some of them do, some of them don't. What we're trying to do is provide those tools for those companies that don't and make it easy for them to use their turnkey solution so that they can actually enhance and better enable their agents and brokers to sell more for them.
Thank you. And I think with the rise of embedded insurance and direct-to-consumer models, do you see agency and broker management platforms like Eazy Digital evolving? And what new functionalities are you focusing on?
Look, I consider myself like the king of direct to consumer model because before insurance, I did e-commerce for almost like 5, 6 years since 2012. So it's been a while. I've been going direct to consumer for a long time. Even what we did at Frank was a direct to consumer model, and we did it very successfully as well, selling insurance, for personal accident, travel, motor, health, critical illness, cyber, etc. Pretty much every single product line from about 20 different insurance companies. And during that entire time, my sole purpose was to essentially get customers to say, you can buy directly from us as opposed to going through an agent. Now, so I'm guilty of essentially trying to replace the agent and brokerage model, for the past 6, 7 years. And what I realized was they're not going away. They're not just resilient. They are the backbone of the industry. And you look at some established, economies like the U.S. or even Europe, a majority of the sales still come from agent and brokers. So, who are we to try to replace them? They've been around for ages. And inherently, it's because insurance is actually a very trust-driven product. You don't, take away the small sizes, take away the tiny products like, a cyber or device protection or things like that, that can be done as a part of a checkout journey. But the big products, the bulk of the sales of most insurance companies, the motor products, the health products, the life products, those still require a trust factor. They still need somebody to give them the comfort that I'm putting all this money in. I'm not just getting a piece of paper that's not going to yield out anything. So from my perspective, agents and brokers are not going to go anywhere. And instead of just trying to get rid of them, how about we try to make them more efficient? How about we try to make them more digitally abled so that they can actually reach a wider base of customers instead of just people within their inner circles, because that's what most agents do. They struggle to expand beyond their small group of customer base. So that's what we try to do with our platform. We've got multiple functionalities to help with these things. Like I was saying earlier, we've got lead generator tools, we've got performance management tools, we've got gamification tools to motivate them as well to try to reach out. So small things like get 5 leads in 5 days and you'll earn a badge or things like that. Those are all small things that you can active things like actual actions that an agent or broker can take to go to the next step.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think anything that is kind of like a big ticket item is tend to be better with like a face-to-face interaction. I remember back in 2022 when I had to kind of like visit the hospital, I think the first person I wanted to call was my agent just to kind of like figure out if, what is going to be covered under the hospitalization plan or what is, not going to be covered and I have to pay first out of pocket. So I think that completely makes sense about making how agents and brokers can be a little bit more efficient. I think as insurance distribution in Asia also undergoes rapid transformation, what do you predict will be the biggest shift in the role of agents and brokers in the next 5 years, and how does Eazy Digital fit into that future?
I think the ticket sizes is actually the key barrier, right? It's inefficient for an agent or broker to try to sell you a travel insurance policy or try to sell you a device protection policy. Why? Because the effort in selling that tiny little product, it just doesn't make sense for the time. As we essentially progress through time, the time value of money increases, right? Each person's time is now worth more than it was before because we can become more efficient. Now, having said that, people also understand time value of money a lot more as well. They value their time a lot more. They don't want to spend their time selling these small ticket items, but it's still necessary. So what are we supposed to do? Like, as a customer of an agent, if you have an insurance need, whether it's big or small, you're going to expect that agent or broker to take care of it for you. If the broker says, I don't care about your travel insurance policy, just give me the life stuff, the big stuff. That is a big red flag for a customer, right? The customer is going to be like, okay, what? You can't sell me a travel insurance policy, but you can only sell me the big ticket stuff. I don't trust you. Why you only want a lot of money from me? Why can't you help me when I actually need you? So we have to give them these tools to actually give it, enable them to sell these small ticket items to their customers as well, while reducing the effort that they have to put in to do that. So, a lot of insurance companies try to go through this route by going direct to consumer. Now, if an insurance company goes direct to consumer, agents and brokers tend to feel they're alienating them and they're sort of bypassing their biggest sales channel by going directly to the customer that they've built. So how do we find the place in between? So, for example, one of the functions that we've built is actually enabling direct to consumer for the brokers. So brokers have their own portal, their own microsite that they can market so that they can start selling these small ticket items to customers without having to put in the operational effort, without having to put in as much time in selling these small ticket items while still providing value to their customers. So if a customer comes to an agent, hey, I want to buy a device protection. Yeah, here's my link. Here's the details in here. You can proceed, right away, and I'll be there to take care of you because I'll see all the details and everything around there. So customers still feel comfort because they're still buying from that agent. Agent feels comfortable because they know they're getting essentially the benefit of that sale. At the same time, they have to put in a lot of operational effort. And the insurance company is happy because now they're essentially getting the operational benefits of direct to consumer without having to market because the agent's doing it on their behalf. So win-win-win.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. Harprem is going to be one of our speakers at ITC Asia 2025 this year, and look forward to more of these unfiltered conversations in the next few weeks. And thank you, Harprem. Thank you so much.
Awesome.